Come on.
Yeah.
I got to give it up to Alex for his speech. I love how you set the tone today. So I'm going to set the tone too, just like you did. So give Manny a round of applause, guys.
Absolutely.
It's amazing event. Awesome. I mean, we are such huge supporters of what you're doing and your vision. I mean, it's game changing and it's beautiful. Another thing I want you guys to do is give yourselves a round of applause for being here, right? That's good. You guys are all trying to change the world. That's amazing. So, if you guys haven't noticed yet, we are identical twins. This is my assistant, Chris. My favorite assistant.
Jokes.
I'm just kidding, guys. I love this guy to death. It's just a blessing being a twin. So today, we want to talk to you guys about 5 ways to be a giver, not a taker. How many ways? 5. Just want to make sure everyone's paying attention. All right, guys. So if you guys want to go ahead and hit the, or do you want to hit that?
I got it.
Cool.
All right. Who are we? So we're going to go through this really quick. I don't want to talk about ourselves too much. So it's just a little bit of background about who we are, just so you guys kind of understand where we're coming from. If you have any questions, come up to the booth, talk to us. Even if we're out here, we're really super cool guys, down to earth. Eric, he's a little bit conceited, but you know.
Okay, so before we get into the topic, we just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of context about our story. So if I can get you guys to sit and just close your eyes for, while I tell the story, I'd really appreciate that. So picture you're 17 years old, and it's 3 days before Christmas. You get a knock on the door, and your life is pretty much perfect. You have the perfect upbringing, perfect parents, everything's just flowing. 3 days before Christmas, you get a knock on the door from a California Highway Patrol officer. And it's like 3 in the morning, and we run to the door, and what do we see? We see our mom on her knees screaming, saying, "No, no." And what had happened was the officer had told my mom that my father passed away in a car accident. He was a correctional officer at San Quentin Prison, a role model, provider, just a great overall guy. So in an instant, our life was just flipped to 360 at 17 years old. So after that, 3 months later, my grandma passed away due to cancer, and that was my mom's mom. So my mom got hit with a ton of bricks. So along that way, I lost part of my mother too, as she became dependent on alcohol, antidepressant pills, all these sudden outbursts on us for no reason. And like I said, we were kids. We didn't know what was going on. We were barely 17, 18 years old. So we were lost. We were really, really lost from the ages of 18 to 24. I remember Chris and I were very, very just rebellious. We got in a lot of trouble. We were full of anger. We got arrested several times, got put in jail. Nothing to be proud of, but we were lost. We had no guidance, no mentors, no father figure. And I remember coming home even too from just school, just seeing my mom passed out with alcohol bottles, antidepressant pills laying on the floor. So these are visuals that have stuck with me up until this point. And it's something that's never going to be removed from our lives, but we've dealt with it and we've overcame it. So what kind of made us pivot and
Eyes. They can open their eyes.
Oh, you guys can open your eyes now. So what made us kind of pivot, and the turning point was, it was just kind of the last straw where we got in trouble by the law. And we were just like, you know what, this is ridiculous what we're doing with our lives. We're just way too gifted, way too talented, and we have way too much to offer the world to be just going down this path. So we started hiring mentors, right? They were showing us the way, how to serve, how to become better people. We started hiring fitness mentors, business coaches, a life coach, which turned our entire life around on just personal development, spirituality, and ultimately how to give back and serve.
All right, so we're going to give you guys 5 tips to being a giver, not a taker. And we learned this pretty much the past decade. All that adversity we've gone through, our upbringing, through all the higher level mentors that we have acquired, through the masterminds, the retreats, workshops, everything. So we're going to give you guys some really, really golden nuggets, and I highly recommend you guys take notes. So who knows who Jim Quick is? He's a celebrity memory specialist. Anybody? Okay, great. So he has this acronym on pretty much how you can retain information through a video, through an article, whatever it is, right? It's called FAST. It stands for FAST. F is forget about everything, right? So today, if I talk about something and you guys already know what it's about, just forget about it. Just be open-minded to what I have to say about it, okay? That's the F. The A is action. Take some sort of action, whether it's taking notes, whether you're audio recording it, you're recording on your video, and you're watching it later, but take action, because I promise you, you guys will retain the information more if you go back and watch it later on, or if you take notes. The S stands for state. So we're in a good state right now because everybody's like-minded here, everybody's taking notes, so it's a really good state for everybody to be in, to be learning. The T is teach. So whatever information I give you guys, apply this and go back and teach it to your community. Go do a video on it. Go do a podcast on it. Go do a Snapchat on it, okay? So teaching is the best way to retain information. So remember, that's FAST, F-A-S-T.
And real quick, make sure you guys take pictures of the slides. Well, ours is your guys',
Yeah.
so feel free.
Okay, tip number 1, create a Facebook group to give tips, start discussions, and build a community, right? So we've talked about being a giver and not a taker. Okay, so you want to sit there and start some sort of community so you can build a culture around, and you can start giving free tips. You can start giving away, start doing discussions. You can start building that camaraderie with people within a Facebook group, okay? So it's a really, really good way. It's absolutely free to build a Facebook group. If you guys don't want to do a Facebook group, start a meetup group, a local meetup group. Start with 5 people, 10 people, scale it up to like 50 people, whatever it is you want to do, maybe once a week, once a month. But start some sort of free group, whether it's a Facebook group, a meetup group, so you guys can build that community, build that culture, and start giving away some free information and start some discussions.
Tip numero dos. All right, so make sure you guys, when you guys are trying to be a giver and not a taker, share the acronym. Remember the acronym AVE. So A stands for articles, V stands for videos, E stands for entertainment. So share articles, videos, entertainment with the people you want to collaborate and establish a relationship with. Just think about that. I mean, that goes a long ways. All these huge influencers, these people that are put up here, they're getting bombarded left and right by people. But if you sit there and genuinely share like a video, an article, or maybe like an event with them, it's like, why would they not appreciate that, right? I mean, people have done that for Chris and I honestly, I really appreciate it. I'm like, wow, this is great. So take the initiative and just go the extra mile, kind of research maybe even what they're into, and just browse around. If you find something that's interesting, that's an article, a video, or some form of entertainment, share that with them. I promise you, you might not get the first response at first, but be persistent and just believe in that.
Real quick, what's AVE stand for? Hands up.
Article, video, entertainment.
Woo. Nice. All right. All right, so I deal with this guy on a day-to-day basis. Business partner, this is what I feel like doing to him sometimes, okay? Most of the time, actually. Tip number 3, repost or share others' Instagrams, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube videos, right? So be a giver. If you read a really good article, you come across a really helpful podcast or a video, share it and tag that person so they can see that you're actually taking an interest in what the content is they're providing, and they can see that you're sharing it, and they're going to be like, wow, this person shared it, so I'm going to keep him on my radar. I promise you guys keep doing this, it's going to come back to you some way, right? So it's a form of giving. Here's a good example of what we did in the fitness industry, and I don't know, maybe you can get some ideas off of this, but maybe when we first started out to get our name out there, we started this thing called Good Reads. Every single month, we compiled a bunch of videos and articles from some of the top tier fitness guys, right? We put it on our webpage, and we just put the title of the article, and then we linked it, and then what we did was we sat there and blasted out on Twitter, and they retweeted it, and then we put it on Facebook, tagged them, they shared it, so it was an easy way for us to kind of get our website out there and show them that we were taking a general interest in the content that they're providing, and we're sharing it with our community. So just think about some ways you guys can share people's content through Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. It's going to go a long way as far as giving.
Okay, tip number 4 to being a giver is collaborations, right? So have them on your podcast, feature them on your blog, do a video or some sort of social media collaboration. Collaborations are huge. It goes back to, even what Manny was saying about establishing relationships, doing things in person, just really just being that, having that foundation of, collaborating. I mean, these relationships go so far, when you really think about it. It might not just, spark up at first, but after years, if you sit there and keep collaborating and just being a giver and not asking for anything, it's going to come back some way. So take the initiative to sit there and collaborate. Don't be intimidated by people's followings, by their presence. People at the end of the day. And the one thing I can tell you guys is don't put people on a pedestal. That is going to bring your guys' self-worth down, and you're not going to feel worthy of wanting to reach out to these people. So just always keep that in mind. Do not put people on a pedestal. Everybody is human. Everybody just should be grounded.
Plus, if you put them on a pedestal, you're always going to be like this, look like that, always. So don't ever do that. Tip number 5, give back. So kind of what we were talking about yesterday, what Dan Fleischman was talking about, how he's doing stuff for his charity. You can go out there and you can volunteer your time. You can donate money. You can donate, donations. You can come to events like this, what Manny's doing, how he's raising money for orphans. There's so many ways to give back, right? So we're part of a mastermind called Connect, and that's through Cole Hatter. He has this really awesome conference called Thrive. One of the biggest missions he has is make your money matter, right? So how are you going to sit there and make your money matter, make a difference, right? Because it's so easy to sit there and make X amount of dollars, and there's going to be a point where we cap out on the things that we want, as far as materials or experiences, stuff like that. But at some point, you're going to want to give back somehow, some way. So think about that. How can you guys make your money or your time matter? And if you guys don't have the money or the resources to give back, give your time. Go on podcasts. Go on, people's YouTube channel and answer some questions. Do once a week, once a month Q&A. That's a form of giving back. Just some certain way to give back and give your time and help other people out.
All right, so a bonus tip for you guys is find amazing mentors. Find badass mentors that are doing this, right? So you can emulate their life and learn from them. This is a picture of Chris and I with Philip McKernan. He does a lot of, philanthropy type work. We went on a retreat with him to Mexico last year and donated our time, all that, to an orphanage in Mexico. And it was a life-changing event, right? So be around people that are doing that. That other person down there is Cole Hatter. He's doing that all around the world with orphanages too. So surround yourself with people that are doing this and learn from them, and it will snowball effect. So I want to leave you guys kind of with this quote and statement. And if you guys want to write this down, please do that. If you have a unique talent or a gift, you have a moral obligation to serve people.
Say it again.
If you have a unique gift or a talent, you have a moral obligation to serve people.
Say it again.
Thank you.
If you guys want to follow us and keep up with us with our big eyebrows, that's how you find us. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.